So tonight I should say, we're gonna just be going for a little walk. I've decided to go back to an old camera that I used to use a while back, a couple years ago. It's been a very, very, very long time since I've used it, so it's what I would consider old school camcorder, the Sony CX405. I think they still sell these. Probably not so much now because it's a little bit of an older model, but I'm so glad that I have it and that I haven't really used it or touched it, so it's still in pretty good condition. But I will say this, man, back when I bought it, I paid a good amount of money for it. Probably like $250, I think. Of course, back then, you know, that was a good amount, and it was kind of like still not new, but close to the time when they came out. So when I bought it, but this camera served me well. I've used it throughout many years of my YouTube video stuff, and it's been interesting, and it's definitely been very much better quality than at least the phones I had at the time. And even though now maybe the phone might have given me a better picture, this, I don't know, it's just something simple and different about having a point and click camera. Obviously I had to mess with the settings a little bit, just a little, just the frame rate and whatnot, but for the most part everything is solid. But I don't know, I like it. You see me right there, the silhouette of me. I would turn it around, but such a pain. Uh, there we go. Maybe I can make a picture of me. Face, come on. There we go. But yeah, that's me. Yep. I love this camera. I did. I did my. Believe I did my first ghost hunt with this camera. And it's a series I tried to create called Investigation Paranormal. And if you look for it, you'll find it. You'll find it. It's a couple of years old, but you know, there's only 2 episodes. Obviously, the second one, don't even really want to call it a second episode, but it's just short. But it was this like haunted area that was near where I lived, in the vicinity of where I lived. But episode 1, now that's the interesting one, because there was just a lot of cool stuff going on. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I think I'm gonna use my phone when I recorded those videos or that video. I don't know. But point is some paranormal stuff that I tried to get into back when I don't know, when things felt a little bit simpler, right? But here I am, just walking, skadoodling past. But yeah, I highly recommend at least watch the first episode. The second one is kind of garbage, I'm not gonna lie. Even I'll admit that. First one was actually interesting because there were some weird anomalies that, like some things that may look like it might just be faulty equipment or like related to like, again, I don't remember if it was this camcorder that I used or my phone at the time, but it looks like it might have been an electrical issue, but it wasn't, which was weird. But either way, I don't know. I think that it's definitely worth a watch if you just want to like spend like a good probably 30, 40 minutes. If you want to spend 30 or 40 minutes just like something to kill time and it's dark in your room or something, I recommend you watch it just because if you're in a brightly lit place, you're probably not going to see it very well because a lot of it is in the dark. Like it'll pick up some stuff, but you got to be in a dark place to watch it in its full embrace. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of miss this camcorder. Now that I'm using it, I kind of miss it. I miss it, and I feel dumb for not using it more. Cause I mean, I have like the higher end equipment, like compared to when before and during and after I had this. Like I upgraded so much equipment. I got so much good stuff. I have a very high, high frame rate action camera. Only problem is with the stupid action camera, it'll only go up to like because no matter what quality I put the video format in, it'll still record it in the same high as quality. So basically, the frame rate is like useless. Like picking different, whether it's 4K, 2.7K, 1080, 720, whatever. It doesn't matter what you pick. The file size is gonna remain the same, which makes no sense to me. Then why even give the option of frame rates, right, or different pixels or whatever? But with that action camera, you're pretty much stuck with the same frame rate and recording quality and all that, which is not bad because it's really high quality, but that's the issue. That's where the issue comes in. There's only so much time that can be recorded within a certain amount of of a file size before it gets cut off. So basically, if I record like a 10-minute video, it's gonna cut it into two separate videos because the maximum is like 3.8 gigs or something, and after that, you know, you're pretty much gonna get a clipped video. And in terms of video wise, like lengthwise, how long that is, I would say that's anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes, depending. But typically, it'll probably cut off around the 5 to 7 minute mark, somewhere in between there, because it kind of varies sometimes. But yeah, like I said, it's a great camera, great quality, extremely high quality. But I don't like having to join videos afterwards because it's a pain in the ass the process to do so for me. Because I can't just go into my local video editor. Now I have to transfer files to different places, and then I have to convert the files to something else, and basically just do a million and one things just to get them, just to join them. And I just don't like that. With this camcorder, I remember I would just record, and it has like a dual record feature, which basically means it'll like record it in a higher end frame rate, and it'll record in two different formats at the same time. It'll eat up your memory, but if you have a lot of memory, then that doesn't matter. It does not matter. As long as you're not recording like 2 hours straight, then you'll be fine. And even then, biggest issue is battery, but that's a whole different story. But the point is it's going to record two separate quality videos, or two different formats, not quality, but two different formats. High quality, but just separate formats. And I like that option because I can record something and it'll give me the MP4 format, which is the one I like using because it's the easiest to work with. Super easy to work with. And with that, I just transfer it straight. Like, it'll be one whole video file. Just one video file, not little chunks of separate ones, no. One whole video file. And then once I get that, I just transfer it to my laptop, put it there, and then connect either upload it through my laptop, which I've been doing more recently, or I can just, if I want to really make it easy, like super easy, or if I want to edit it, I can just put it on my phone, either edit it through my phone or just upload it through my phone. I don't know. Working with the MP4 format is just so easy, so much easier. And the fact that the video in its entirety is gonna be within that one file is the best, as opposed to, like I mentioned, the sports camera, where it'll give me the highest quality you can imagine, but because it's such a high quality, I'm only gonna get 5 to 7 minutes of a video. So if anything's longer than 5 or 7 minutes, I might have to do a whole bunch of processes just to join them, and that's not including the upload time that it's gonna take, or the time it's gonna take to upload those files, because those files do not upload quickly. They take a while. It's a lot of stuff. Download speeds are quick, but upload speeds are slow. But yeah, I don't know. That's why I like this camera. That's why I've started. It was just, I wanted to use this camera sooner, but I'll be honest, I completely forgot, because I did want to actually film something. Like, I kind of had a project in mind, and mind you, I've had this idea for a long time, so it's nothing new. But it's like, I thought, you know what, the best thing to use is the little camcorder that I have, because it gives me the format that I need so I can record something in its entirety and not have it be chopped up in little pieces, you know? But yeah, like right now, you're all probably going to be thinking like, well, why don't you show your face more or do this or do that? It's like, no, this is just, I feel like this is just another randomness type of video where I talk about stuff or something else entirely. I don't know. Because the just randomness series is supposed to be like under 10 minutes, like quick videos, preferably 5 to 7 minutes. But I don't know. This one I could make it into a podcast where I talk about. I could call it a podcast if I make it another 10 more minutes. I might as well just make it a podcast where I just talk about camera. I talk about camera gear or something, or my own camera gear. I don't know. We'll see. It's probably gonna be a podcast, to be honest. But yeah, it's definitely interesting in that sense that I don't know. I feel like until you try all these different pieces of equipment, you're not really gonna know what works for you. And mind you, depending on your situation, certain equipment will be better than others. Like in the case of making like longer format videos in one piece, obviously you always got your phone, right? The problem with the phone is if you don't have a dedicated camera person to film you, then the quality's not going to be that high. I mean, it's still going to be good, but it's not going to be great, as great as it can be. Because you're going to have to film yourself from like the cell. I forget what the. I don't know if it's called the rear cam or the inner cam. The inner camera that faces you on your screen. And that camera is not as high quality as like the outer cam. The one out on the other side of your phone screen. And so, there's that limitation. Like I said, if you don't have a camera person, then it's not going to record the highest quality. Even though it'd be the easiest to record on your phone because you could just record everything in its entirety there and then upload it straight from your phone. It's just super easy. But then you have stuff like this camcorder, where you kind of have that choice what file format you want to use, and you can just, I don't know, I feel like for longer recording sessions, the camcorder is probably king on this one. I believe that. I believe so. Just because you get you get two files, but you get the one that has the basically almost the universal format, which is the MP4, and it's just easy to work with. That's what it is. It's easy to work with. One thing I've noticed, like I may not have always been super tech savvy. I haven't. But ever since I got my first video camera back in like 2009, I think. Was it? Yeah. I believe it was 2009 where I wanted the video camera, and I remember, I think it was, I don't know if it was my Christmas present or my birthday present at the time, but I think my mom ended up buying me a JVC Averio. I don't know, for all you, for all you who know, man. That's like, it's a pretty. I'm not gonna lie, dude. It was a badass video camera. Like, even though right now it's dated, but that camera was awesome. Like, it was extremely cool. I played around with it. I don't know. It was simple to use. It was fun to use, and it gave you a lot. Mind you, it wasn't cheap either at the time. That amount of money that it cost, it was like quite a bit. I just can't remember how much it was, whether it was 150 or 200 or no. I think when I bought it, I think it was like 300 at the time. Yeah, equipment, technology has come a very long way. Right now that camera, well, it'd probably be worth more or close to the same price just because it's not very common, and then because it's out of production. So if you want to get one, it's gonna be pricey because people there is a, believe it or not, there's a demand for it, because I try to look one up and they're still expensive, and I'm like, no man, I'm not paying that much for the same price. I can get a brand new one, a brand new camcorder of, not the same model or even the same brand, but I can get something newer. But yeah, but that was my first camera, JVC Averio. It was red, candy apple red. It was beautiful, gorgeous, and that's what I started with. And kind of going off of what I originally was trying, original point I was trying to make is that it's crazy how different technology has changed, even from something, even though that was still pretty advanced for that time. The fact that for that time that camera was pretty high tech, and not only that, but the fact that it was available to the masses, like a mass-produced model, that was pretty good. Don't get me wrong, it had a shitload of faults. It was not perfect. It had a lot of issues, especially with like I forget what it's called, but the connector that has to do with the screen. It's like a very thin piece of film that connected like the screen to something, and like mine messed up. That's why I know about it. I tried to fix it, and I couldn't have ruined it anymore, but that it was basically garbage at that point because it didn't work at all. But original point, sorry, I'm off tracking here. I don't know. I like talking about the tech stuff because I know about it. I have experience with it at least. But original point, like I said. So technology changes over time, and one thing I've noticed compared to the first camera I had to like the more recent ones that I've added to my arsenal in the past couple of years is that, and I guarantee this is intentional, but I swear companies are making all this fucking shit a lot more difficult than it needs to be. Like that's what I don't understand. It's like when you put out these models or these things, you're supposed to make it easy for people to use, easier for them to use. That at least I remember growing up having some of this technology. Like that was the goal. Like make it as easy to use as possible so that everybody can use it, wants to use it, and like the issues at the very least, it's just gonna be stuff that you either have to buy a new one or maybe you might be able to fix it on your own. But if you can't, it is what it is. You'll get a good length of time with the fucking thing, and it'll last you some good time before you have to get another one. But now it's like everything is an issue. The software is corrupt. The software is messed up, or it's outdated. The files are corrupted all the damn time. The quality of the build of the device itself is garbage, or you got too many fucking settings. It's like, just give me something simple. It's like, maybe give me a little bit of manual options, but don't go crazy with it. It's like, at least for the average consumer. Because the tech savvy people, like, they know what they're doing. They want a million options because they know exactly how they're gonna how they're gonna program each little setting, right? But for the common folk, the common folk that don't really know much or anything about settings, white balance, exposure, shutter speed, all this stuff, or pixel quality or whatever, just make it simple. Put everything on auto, for the most part, with some manual options, right? But put everything on auto, and just make the basic frame rate something good, decent, and simple, like a 720, right? I think that's fair. Just that's the default, right? And I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it'd be nice to have a setting where you can go as low as like 360 if you feel like it. I don't know why you would want to, but sometimes you just want to get that old, watered down aesthetic. To be fair, these days you can just upload a 720 pixel video and just click 360 and it'll like scale. Usually websites or platforms like YouTube will just scale it down. It'll give you that option, but I don't know. I feel like companies can get more creative, a lot more creative with their like cameras. And I don't mean just give us like the newest features. Like new features are nice and all, but they just don't have fun with video cameras anymore. You know? I don't know. Maybe this could just be because I'm sentimental about that JVC Averio. the fact that it's like, okay, it was cool little like pop colors, those colors popped out. Like they had a black one, obviously, that was like the plain one, but they also had like a candy, like a very beautiful candy apple red, or like I would call it like a candy apple blue, just because they had like the same shine to it, but it was just in blue. But it was like blue silver, like it glittered like silver, but it was blue, right? But it was just like, I don't know, those colors just popped, right? It made you think like, wow, like this is amazing. I don't know. You could tell that they kind of at least cared a little bit about whatever they're doing. Now everything's black or gray or white. Almost nothing is like, I don't know. I just feel like they don't really have fun with making these products anymore. Everybody's like, be as efficient, be as plain as possible, but be as efficient. Give me the highest quality, which is always good. It's always good to aim for highest quality, but there comes a point where, yes, it's good to have high quality, but you also have to focus on making it look fun. Basically, make the product sell itself to some degree, right? I don't know. Again, just ramblings, I guess. Ramblings of a guy who probably is just way too obsessed with his old camcorder. And maybe that's what it is. I'm just setting the standard to that because that was the first one I had. And there were a bunch before it. I didn't have any before that, but like there's so many other camcorders that came way before it, and then many more that came after. I don't know. I do not know, but what I do know is that I don't know. Everybody's gotten into recording content and like making content, which is great. I am a huge supporter of that. I personally believe, though not everyone should, but at the same time, it's not my place. Like 100% is not my place to say whether someone should or shouldn't make something. Just as long as it's not like something that is a how do I say it? Like as long as it's not something bad. Like don't film like I don't know, like little um I don't even know what to call as an example because there's a lot of bad examples that are out there, but I'd rather not talk about it. Um, it's like don't film someone like getting hurt and just doing nothing about it. Like put the fucking thing away, put the camera away, and help someone if they're in trouble, or like or help them in the sense maybe not like move them, but like call emergency services or something. Like ambulance or cops or whatever. I don't know. The point I'm trying to make is like be mindful of what kind of content you're making. Make sure that it's respectful to, at the very least, that it's respectful to whatever you're making the content for or about. Oh, we got some company. I think think they'll tell me something. There's a cop rolling by. Bow, 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 bow. 3, 2, 1. Okay, no, we're good. Okay, yeah, this is definitely going to be a podcast episode. This will definitely be interesting. For people that like watching nature walks or just walking, it's going to be great. Because you only get to see me for a little, you only get to see me a little bit in the beginning, but you get a lot of commentary. But yeah. And if you hear me breathing heavily, um, that's normal, by the way. Well, at least that's not good. It's not normal for me, but normal in the sense of like, my body's still recovering from like, for all of you who've watched my channel or have seen some of my previous posts and I've talked about this, I had a lot of like health issues due to COVID, like basically long COVID, some side effects. Most, like a good chunk of them like the most severe ones have kind of already dissipated, but it did kind of leave some stuff that I don't know yet if it's like a permanent thing. But so far, like it definitely left some after effects that are still with me. I don't know if they're still going to be with me in the future, but for now they're still with me where, I have a little bit, like not that noticeable now, but it's kind of trouble breathing a little bit. I don't know, I find that I'm a little bit, I'm short of breath sometimes. So if you hear me like breathing a lot or trying to breathe through my nose a lot, it's because I'm not that aware of it, and it's a little, my body has a little bit, just a slight difficulty in breathing because of that. Because of like how kind of COVID messed up my lungs a little bit. Not a lot, just a bit. Again, it's nothing major, nothing major. It was much worse before, but let's just letting you all know, just letting you all know. And if I sometimes lose my train of thought, that's also kind of a side effect, the brain fog. Because I kind of never lost my train of thought that like this persistently, but ever since, at least now that I'm getting better, it's starting to get better. But you know, I have noticed that after I got super sick last year, my train of thought sometimes wanders. But I've been actively working on maintaining that train of thought and just keep rolling with it. But every now and then I'll like veer off. Not on purpose, just hey man, take COVID seriously. If you get it, make sure you see a professional. That's all I can say. Make sure you take care of yourself because like I said, I don't know if this is just some temporary things that I have to deal with for a little while or if it's gonna be permanent from now on. So I'll tell you, man, some of these effects that I'm not gonna mention here, but some of these things, if it's from now on type of deal, it's definitely gonna severely limit what I do next in life because I have certain plans that I want to go do, but I'm waiting on the full recovery. And the sad part is if this is like my current state, if this is what's considered a full recovery, then I really do have to make some pretty important decisions in life. Just because it's very limiting what I can do. I can't be, I can't do too much physical stuff like I can walk, that's fine, but I can't do any heavy lifting or I can't do too much strenuous works, like too much strenuous workouts. Like I get pretty much I'm limited to like walking. I've gone running before, but it's not sustainable for a very long period of time. Because if I push my body too much, then I start getting like very bad vertigo, or sometimes I'll legitimately get so lightheaded that I'll just fall down, and I won't be able to like even stand. I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to like talk about it more. So if you heard all that, or if you don't like hearing about that, I'm sorry about that. Like I said, I'm trying to keep a train of thoughts and stick to it. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, technology has changed so much, but in some ways, it's just become a lot more difficult to handle and deal with. And in terms of the last thing I talked about, just take care of yourselves. That's all I can say. Like, really take care of yourselves. Go get a checkup whenever you're due. Trust me, you don't want to put off anything. And not only that, but you don't want to make a joke out of something that can potentially change your whole life for better or worse. And it's usually never for the better when it comes to getting sick. So stay strong. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. Have a good night. Y'all take care.